Hello everyone, and welcome to another Starcraft 2 video. This one's going to take place on Metalopolis. I'm the blue Terran, Ketroc, spawning in the 9 o'clock position, and my opponent today is Germ, the red Terran, spawning in the 12 o'clock position. And for today's video, we are actually going to follow Germ's point of view, as he's going to show you basically the Terran variation of the 6 pool. This is an all-in build, but it's probably the fastest rush you can do as a Terran. And it's kind of a cool build order, as it has a unique attribute to it. So we'll speed it up a touch. The first step you want to do is, you build your supply depot on the low ground, your barracks immediately afterwards. But the key is to build it on the low ground. That way you can actually wall off with your first 2 structures. If you didn't know this, the bottom of ramps is actually smaller than the top of ramps, so you can wall off with just a 2x2 building and a 3x3 building. Next thing is you want to stop your SCV production at 12. Notice he's not making his 13th SCV. This allows you to make this barracks immediately, and by cutting your SCV production, it's going to give you the resources to get the Marines out for this push that you want. So barracks on the low ground, cut your SCV production at 12, and then you want to build your second and third barracks as your next steps, as your money allows. Second barracks is a little bit late. He had about 50 minerals extra there. And then third barracks. That one's not late, right on time. And as he's complete, you're going to want to start pumping Marines. You also got to find your opponents. You can either use this SCV to scout, or you can just use your first Marine to scout. They both have a small trade-off, so you might lose your first Marine, but if you use your Marine, then you can keep your resourcing at a very high level. After your third barracks, you want to grab your orbital command, and then just start pumping Marines. Marines, Marines, Marines. Now, the cool part of this build is that once your orbital is complete, you're going to want to use it for a supply drop. And you may ask, why use a supply drop instead of a mule? Supply drop's like 100 minerals. A mule gives you 270. Well, a mule gives you 270 over time, and the time slowly over time, and the time past your orbital finishes. The orbital gives you 100 minerals immediately, as you can supply drop, boom, right there, and even gives you maybe 30, 40, 50 minerals before your orbital finishes, in that you get to keep one SCV mining longer, rather than putting them on duty to build a supply depot. So that's the key of this build. You get this, the supply drop gives you a lot of instant money, which allows you to afford the production from these 3 super early barracks. And then you want to move out pretty soon. Looks like you got 5 Marines in the field if we bring up the units tab. Yep, it's 8 Marines versus 1 right now. 9 versus 1. I guess that includes the ones that are in production. And now he's moving out. Now, by the time he arrives, it would be possible for me to have 6 Marines, as I finished my barracks at 2 minutes and 50 seconds, and he only arrives at 5:20. However, this is like the worst Marine macro game ever. I have this thing idle for so long. Like, I would expect to have maybe 4 or 5, just because sometimes I use my minerals for other things, but yeah, this is just pure negligence, the reason I only have 2. My scout barracks arriving to see an empty base. I'm like, uh-oh, that's definitely an all-in, so I quickly throw on these bunkers, but he's arriving at the same moment. And here you go, you can LOL your way to victory, just as Germ's doing here, blowing his way in. And it's going to be 12 Marines and 12 SCVs, and I got 1 Marine and 3 incomplete bunkers. He sniped all the SCVs making the bunkers, forcing me to cancel. I think I actually lost one of them. Having to pull all my SCVs because they're dying. Pop in the 2 SCVs that were still on gas, and the new SCV comes out and he gets popped too. And there you have it. That is, I don't know if there's a name for this. We'll call it the 3 racks rush, or the 12 SCV 3 racks rush. You got to pull all your SCVs, because this is 100% all in. If you stop your SCV production at 12, you're not going to win a long macro game, so you may as well send every SCV you have just to get in the battle. At the same time, you can use your orbitals following energy for mules, just to send some extra Marines to repopulate the push. So that is the 3 racks rush, which comes super fast. You notice he arrived at 5 minutes and 20 seconds. And with that, we'll jump into the thumbs up fact of the day.
I'm going, Commander.
Alright, for today's thumbs up fact of the day, I want to talk about cheese, which is always a controversial topic. even controversy defining what cheese even means, but I'm pretty sure that this is definitely an example of most people's definitions of cheese. It's an all-in rush. It has no transition to the mid-game or late game. It's just do this build, hit your opponent as hard as you can, and hope you win sort of idea. And some people hate cheese, some people like to use it a lot, and I'll just kind of give you my opinion on it. These sort of cheese builds are something you want to be able to do. So it's good to try it out, and it's good to even practice it a little bit just to get it to refined nicely so you know how to handle it well. And the reason you want to be able to do it is so it's in your repertoire and people know that it could come. That way if you're playing the same opponent a bunch of times, or if you're in, like, say, a best-of tournament, it's something you can pull out of your hat. And if your opponent's expecting more of your standard longer-term play, you can catch them off guard and kill them with it. And even if it doesn't succeed or not, it puts your opponent on notice. Like, hey, I can't take any sort of risks based on what I expect my opponent to do. I can't go for like a heavy economic opener because my opponent is capable of pulling something like this out of his hat. And that's why I think it's a good idea to learn like this sort of rush, or like a stim timing push, or if your other races know how to 4 warp gate, know how to, 3 roach rush, know how to 6 link, But with that said, you don't want to do it every game. You don't want to say, hey, I just won 3 games in a row like this, I'm just going to keep doing this over and over and over on the ladder, because the point of playing StarCraft is to become a better player. Like, obviously, I think it's the competition, so you won't improve doing this. I mean, you'll learn how to memorize a build order, but that's about it. You're not going to learn any transitions, any sort of compositions, unit counters, like late game macro, and like even handling smaller groups of units you may not be able to do well. Just the micro, like say even handling a pack of 9 Marines, maybe you would lose them all to a single Hellion. So with that, you don't want to be cheesing a lot. And speaking of which, hey, a single Hellion. Maybe we'll just play this out, and maybe we'll add in a bit of Benny Hill music. So there you have it, 12 Marines and 12 SCVs versus a single Hellion, and yeah, things went pretty well. So here's his reinforcements coming in with 3 Marines. I guess that's from the Mule from earlier. He's got some more, and the 3 more on the way. But now I got 2 Hellions on the field and a Marine. And even though I mismicroed this battle, or these Hellions and SCVs are just kind of running who knows where, I was still able to clean it up. And since he was going all in and pulled everything, which is what you wanted to do, it's the right reaction, but if you don't finish the game, it's basically over. He has 0 SCVs, only getting mineral production. Well, there's his first SCV, but I'm on 5. Well, here's new tabs here. Yeah, I got 5 SCVs, 6 just popped out now. And I got all the production I need. I got 2 barracks and 1 factory, so I can easily spend up this money. And I even got a barracks over here, so I can pull out a Marine like this and snipe his Mule, which is what I'm just about to do. Pushing out with my Hellions, not microing them well, but even like poorly microed Hellions will go dollar for dollar with Marines. And going dollar for dollar with someone who has no SCVs in the field is advantage me. Yeah, I could have microed it better. However, my base defense, I think I handled that pretty well. Just using some SCVs to attack and distract, while using other SCVs to repair my Hellion, and using the speed of my Hellion to keep it out of range when it needed repairing. And he was never actually able to poke it, finish it off, and he didn't have the ability to split up his Marines into separate control groups and kind of sort of like swing around and flank sort of idea to finish off the Hellion, so I was able to abuse my speed. So it looks like he's back down to 0 SCVs, finishing off this barracks, but who the heck cares about that? I'm up to a whole ton of SCVs, and this is more or less over. Got a Hellion riding up Marine's ass. Get out of the speed lane, Marine. And pulling back, and microing poorly yet again, losing another Hellion, and then I realized, you know what, this guy's done. he has to kill me. I don't have to kill him. So I'm just going to sit at the top of my ramp, and anytime he wants to see what's up here, he's going to eat a nice little couple flame floors to his face. Because I'm so far ahead economically. Look at all those SCVs. He still has 0 SCVs. So he basically has to get up my ramp and kill me with that, which, yeah, that's not going to happen. And with that, this is GG. So that was a fun game. One of those games where I didn't quit for some reason, and I should have, but it worked. I'm like, well, I got one Hellion on the way, maybe I can make some magic happen with Hellions and SCVs, and there you have it. Poorly microed Marines and SCVs versus you know, just basic micro of Hellion and SCVs, and I was able to hold that off. Yeah, so definitely a build order you should learn. This is the Terran 6 pool. I haven't seen a build order that's better at getting Marines out really quickly, and I really love how the supply drop complements the build. It just allows you to keep the production going on 3 barracks, even though they're built this early in the game. And it's kind of cool. You'd never really think of doing supply drop for any sort of strategical reason, besides like, oh shoot, I supply cap myself. But in this case, it's definitely preferable to the mule, and it allows you to make this push even more potent, more early. And yeah, with that, we'll call it the end of this video. Thank you everyone, and goodbye.